Clayton County Jail for 2 years and 2 months until I was finally acquitted by a jury of my peers. After evidence that was hidden for 2 years and 2 months came to light at trial that proved my innocence. It took the jury less than 15 minutes to acquit me. Now, that being said, some of these officers around here decided that I'm still a child molester and that they were going to tell people that.
What'd you call me?
Like I said, I don't talk to child molesters. Thank you.
You realize I was acquitted of all charges?
I'm gonna have you CTW. Don't do it. I'm gonna have you CTW.
I don't give a fuck. Go in there. One, it's illegal for you to go in there and solicit a trespass. I don't give a fuck.
No, it's not.
One, I was acquitted of all charges, dipshit.
You're a child molester.
I was acquitted of all charges,
You want to
dipshit.
tell everybody on your page that?
Everybody already fucking knows. I've talked about it. I've talked about it. You want to be the next famous one? You want to be the next famous one? You want to be the next famous one?
You want to tell everybody on your page that? Go ahead.
Everybody fucking knows.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And you're a white supremacist? Nah. I don't talk to you, man. Hey. You guys cool with CTWing this guy off your property? This guy right here in the red shirt? Oh, now he's walking away.
Yeah, that's fine.
He come over, he was making a scene while I was sitting in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
That's the
talking
guy
about.
who was, yeah, so, yeah, he
Now he's standing on the sidewalk.
yeah.
Alright guys, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the most disturbing cases of police retaliation caught on camera. Picture this. A man wrongly branded a child molester, locked away for over 2 years while evidence that would have cleared him sat buried from his own defense. When the truth finally surfaced at trial, a jury needed less than 15 minutes to set him free. You'd think that nightmare was over. It wasn't. What follows proves a badge doesn't always mean justice, and sometimes revenge simply wears a uniform instead.
No, he come over. I told him, I said, don't say nothing to me. I said, you make a scene. He's got the video camera out saying also he's a child molester.
Yeah.
He got charged with child molestation.
Yeah, and got
He
released.
sat in jail. Yeah.
He's the one who got off the fire.
Yeah, Emerson.
Yeah.
So I told him now he's standing on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell if he comes back on the property, let me know. I know y'all fixing to leave, but
Yeah.
and I'll see you together.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yes, sir. You've been warned. You step foot on this property again, they're gonna CTW you. You make a scene. Do not make a scene right now. I'm telling you right now. You're on the sidewalk. Don't play with me. It's called an easement. I'm not an idiot. I know what an easement is. I know how the law works, dude.
Why don't you pull up the final disposition on my charges, dipshit?
I don't know you anything.
Why don't you pull up the final disposition on my charges, dipshit?
And you're a white supremacist. I don't play with
A white supremacist? A white supremacist? Where the fuck did you get that from?
I'm done.
Yeah, you're done. You're definitely done. You'll be the next one with a fucking complaint, and you'll be the third Commerce Police Department out of here in 6 months.
You're a child molester.
Is that right? Is that right?
Now watch this closely, because this is where things spiral fast. An acquitted man, cleared by a jury, is confronted, mocked, and threatened with a criminal trespass warning by an officer who clearly hasn't accepted the verdict. The insults fly, the accusations return, and the officer openly threatens to have him removed from public property for simply existing nearby. This isn't law enforcement responding to a crime, it's personal vendetta disguised as policing. Keep your eyes on the tone here because it only gets more reckless from this exact point forward.
Do you know anything about the case?
Read the whole thing, dude.
Did you?
They just charged you for no reason, right?
Yeah, they charged me for no reason, dipshit. That's why I don't. Is there a red dot on my house? Is there a red dot on my house, dipshit? Yeah, you're talking, dipshit. You're talking, dipshit.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you curse and there's a juvenile out here, I'm taking you to jail. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's disorderly conduct. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 100%. 100%. 100%. We're all adults out here, unfortunately.
You're not a standard fucking
It's not slander. Try again.
It is slander. It's slander.
No.
Fucking acquitted of
No.
all charges.
No. Hey, sir. Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you at home, but and I only wanted to involve you because I know Gonzo's a little busy right now, and I really trust your input and your thoughts on this. What in the world? When in the world do I consider this guy, Mr. Ponytail Express, who's the child molester? When do I consider this disorderly conduct with him standing out on the sidewalk, cursing and screaming at me over here at ABC Pond? When do I...
Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. This officer is weaponizing a false accusation like it's a tool of control. Despite full acquittal, despite a jury's decision, he keeps repeating the label anyway, knowing exactly how dangerous that word can be for someone's safety. That's not ignorance, that's intent. And when authority figures decide the justice system's outcome doesn't matter to them personally, that's when real damage begins, both legally and morally, for everyone involved.
Because I mean, he was originally out here cursing at me. I told him, I said, I am not talking to you. I said, I am not talking to a child molester. I'm not doing it. I don't want any part of it. Stay away from me. Go away. And he will not. I mean, I don't care about him standing out on the sidewalk. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. He can videotape me. I'm just running speed. It doesn't matter to me. But where do I draw the line?
Were you involved in a traffic stop, or you were just...
No, he was out on the corner and he saw me drive up and he screamed, "What's up, fuck stick?" And I'm like, I said, "Leave me alone." I said, "I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to child molesters." So
What you need to do is, if you're sitting there and he walks up, drive away.
Yeah, I know. I'm just it, and I try, and you know, that crossed my mind. I just, at the same time, I shouldn't have to worry about where I'm sitting. You know, and again, I don't mind somebody out on the curb. He can stand there. It doesn't bother me. He can videotape me. He can wave at me. He can tell people to slow down. That doesn't bother me. It's the cursing. Where do I draw the line at the yelling and cursing? You know, and I don't want to make a scene, make a stink, because we're already involved enough with some shit. I'm not, you know, I don't want to make things worse whatsoever. So that's why I called you. I just wanted you to know that he's walking away now because he got bored. So
Yeah, man, that's the easiest way to deal with him right there.
I mean, for whatever reason, he just yelled at me and said he's going to make a complaint. I don't know how he's going to make a complaint. I didn't do anything.
Now the tension cranks up even higher. The officer starts throwing around threats of arrest, disorderly conduct, and even baseless accusations, calling this man a white supremacist, seemingly just to bait a reaction he can later use against him. Meanwhile, the man stays exactly where the law allows him to be, on a public sidewalk, filming, saying nothing provocative. This is what abuse of power actually looks like in real time, not hidden behind paperwork, but recorded in broad daylight for everyone watching.
For this whole thing, so y'all are going to see her and see everything I said.
Morning. Sorry about that.
No worries. How you doing?
Knowing it was you, I'd have stopped my
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm alright.
So, have you had a chance to look at the body cam?
I have. It doesn't look good.
It doesn't
We're
look
doing
good.
an investigation.
So, can you tell me if he went in there and said the same thing to them? Did he go in there and call me a child molester to them?
The video looks horrible,
Okay.
and we're doing an investigation. Go ahead and actually fill out
I got the forms. I'm going to fill those
get them
out.
back to me. But like I said, I'm not waiting until I get the forms to start the investigation. That's already started.
Yes, sir. Here's my issue, and I want you and everybody else that sees this to know I'm not anti.
This next part might be the most damning of all. The officer picks up the phone, calmly referring to this legally acquitted man as a child molester while asking a colleague for permission to arrest him. Think about that for a second. A public official, on a recorded line, still pushing a narrative the court's already destroyed. He even admits the man's rights weren't violated, yet keeps hunting for any excuse. This is the moment intent becomes impossible to deny.
Police. I'm not anti-cop. Bad policing landed me in jail for 2.5 years facing a life sentence for a crime I didn't commit. And bad policing also hid evidence of that crime until the trial. That's what got me acquitted after 15 minutes of jury deliberations. I'm not anti-police. I'm anti-bad policing. And I'm anti-guys that can't control their emotions. If you can't control your emotions, you shouldn't be out here. And they just went through training last year over the Emerson incident. And obviously it didn't stick for at least him. You know what I mean? A couple other officers, great job ignoring me. Perfect job ignoring me. That's what they're supposed to do. But, you know, we definitely have an issue with this one. So
We're going to do the investigation, see if policy violations, whatever, occurred, and then we'll go from there.
But you know, if he said that inside the ABC pawn shop, said that to them, that's a whole different bag of issues.
Now comes the damage control, and it's almost predictable at this point. The officer starts justifying his own behavior, searching for legal cover after clearly overstepping every boundary. But recorded footage doesn't forget, and words said in anger don't just disappear once the cameras start rolling elsewhere. This section shows exactly how these situations unravel for officers who think authority means immunity from consequences, and how quickly that illusion falls apart under real scrutiny.
Defamation and slander. So,
I understand.
yeah, I appreciate you getting on it, and I'll go ahead and do those put out. I might turn them back in this afternoon just so you have everything at your disposal, and you know, we'll talk about it when we talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
Finally, accountability enters the picture. A supervisor reviews the body camera footage and doesn't hold back, admitting flatly that it doesn't look good. An internal investigation opens immediately, no delays, no excuses. And then comes the most powerful moment in this entire story, the victim himself stating clearly that he isn't anti-police, he's anti-bad policing. That single distinction says everything about what accountability should actually look like when the system finally chooses to work correctly. And here's how it all ends. The officer involved was ultimately fired, but that raises a bigger question worth sitting with. Is losing a job really enough after falsely branding someone with a label that dangerous, especially after a jury already cleared him? This case is proof that filming police interactions matters, and that silence protects nobody. If this story hit you the way it hit us, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.